Come on, Missy. It's Saturday morning, so for me that means long run day. I've just started a new training block leading up to a winter ultramarathon in December, so my long run today will be around 2 hours, mostly trails with some hills thrown in. Over the next couple of months this run will build up to around 5 hours, and I'm going to record the journey and share my experience with you. My name's Paul and this is Paul Runs Daily. Just coming up to 30 minutes. Mrs. had about 20 toilet stops and I'm getting worryingly close to running out of poo bags, so hopefully she's empty. The route today is a basic out and back. I'm heading up to a local trig point, Billinge Hill. It's not particularly high, but there are a couple of steep sections just as we get towards the top. I'll be running most of the time, but I will have a couple of stops to let Missy have a drink. I'm not really carrying any nutrition or hydration. I usually tend to go pretty light up to around 3 hours, and then anything beyond that I'll start to think about taking some supplies to get me through. My run schedule for the week consists of 3 main sessions. 2 of those are with my local running club, and my long run I tend to do on my own, but occasionally I'll jump in with another group. But I do tend to find a long run with a group tends to take me out of my training zone, and I'll sometimes push a little bit too hard, which will then have an effect on my other sessions in that week. So other than my long run, I do a speed session. That's usually on a Monday, and then I do a threshold session on a Wednesday. I run every day, quite often twice a day, but other than those specific sessions, all my other runs are done very, very easy, usually quite short, definitely less than an hour. And the term banded around quite a lot is running with purpose. So my 3 weekly sessions have a purpose, an outcome, an end goal. But all my other runs, no purpose other than to get myself outside, get some fresh air and keep the blood flowing. Come on, Missy. Controlling effort on long runs. A lot of people, and this is from my experience as a coach, especially during the early stages of a training block or a training plan, they tend to run their long runs too hard. Because the plan is to extend the long runs over time, quite often the first few are well within that particular athlete's ability, and the temptation is just to make it a little bit harder and to push and go too fast. So to avoid that, I always wear a heart rate monitor. I keep an eye on my heart rate, and I also am really fairly in tune with my own body and how I feel. So my long run should be fully conversational. Talking to the camera helps. When I'm on my own, if I'm running with someone, we'll chat as we're going along. And if I ever get to the point where I'm unable to maintain a normal conversation, then that's a little indication to back off a little bit. And then I'll check the heart rate, see where that is. My heart rate at the moment is 125, which is in the middle of zone 1, and I don't intend to go over 130 for the rest of this run. I tend not to walk too much during my long runs, and I definitely don't have a run walk strategy of any kind. Even in my ultra marathons, I do see a lot of people who schedule walk sections at regular intervals. So we may do 10 minutes running, 1 minute walking, or variations of that. And I find the problem with that is it just becomes an interval session. So because you know you're going to get a little bit of a break, people run way too hard on the running sections, and by the time they've got to the walk break, the heart rate's crept up. It's a little bit high, but we know it's going to come down during the walk. So overall, average heart rate may be within the parameters. So as far as the athlete's concerned, it's a successful run. But if you dig into the data, you'll see that the heart rate graph has fluctuated quite a lot. So there'll be times where the athlete's running way too hard and then having to back off to let the heart rate come down. Now, there's nothing particularly wrong with that, but if you try and use that strategy on very, very long runs, over 6 hours, or in ultra marathons, then every time your heart rate or your effort goes over a particular point, you just start to burn through your energy supplies way too quickly, and you can't then replenish those effectively no matter how much you eat. So ultimately you'll have energy issues later on in the race, cramping issues, excessive fatigue, and all those associated risks with higher intensity running. Right, so my little breaks is just like now. I'm coming to a little road section. I'm going to stop, get Missy on the lead, and then I'll carry on. If Missy needs a drink, then we'll stop at a stream. And other than that, it's running all the way. It's not fast running, it's not hard running, but I will try and maintain a bit of a trot. And we're 45 minutes in now. I can see the hill we're going to. Probably another maybe 10-15 minutes and then we'll be up on the top. This is the last little section up to the trig point. Come on Missy, push up. Pretty much the steepest bit of the whole run up here. Heart rate's just hit 130, so I don't want to go much beyond that. And this is Billinge Hill, and bang on an hour. Checkpoint. Right, come on, let's go down. I'm going to go a slightly different way back. If I go straight back the way we've just come, I'll be a little bit below the 2 hours. So we're just going to put a short loop in first, and then we'll head home. And considering we're coming towards the end of September, these trails are remarkably dry. We have a race here in January and February, and coming across this field you're quite often knee deep in mud, but we're pretty much bone dry. Not much of a view, it's a little bit cloudy, but on a clear day you can see the Welsh mountains, the city of Liverpool, and behind me you've got Manchester. "90 minutes in now," and the good thing about having a downward leg to finish is we can have a bit of a chill. But it's been a really good run. I've enjoyed it. I've managed to maintain my intensity throughout, and I think Missy has mostly enjoyed it, and she'll probably have a good sleep when we get back. So the progression for this run, each week I'm going to put probably about half an hour on and progress up to the 6 hours. It won't be linear. I've got a couple of events in the programme as well, 20 miler and a half marathon, so they're very much build-up events, and I will be running them quite hard, so I'll be classing them as my weekly long run, but I won't be sticking to my intensity guidelines for those events. And we've also got a couple of days planned up in the lakes, and those days will be more hiking than running. Let's let her off the lead, come on. Good girl. That's the M6 motorway that we've just gone under. I live in a very urban area just outside the centre of Wigan, but we are blessed with some beautiful countryside, and it's only a couple of minutes either way, and we're either on the canal or we're up in the farmers' fields and the paths and the trails. I'm probably going to walk the last road section back. I'm a little bit worried about Missy. This is the longest run she's done for a good few months, and I think it's probably the last long run she'll come with me in total. What I tend to do on the longer runs is I'll take her with me for an hour, do a loop round, and then drop her off and head out for the extra bit, but she can just about manage 2 hours. It's a shame. She's been a fantastic running partner over the years. She's ran ultra marathons with me. We've had some epic weekends, but now she's just getting a little bit old. The hips are giving her grief, and while she's always willing to come out for a run, she's not quite got it to last the course on some of the longer ones. But she's a good girl. Hey, who's a good girl? You've done well. Come on. I think I'll end the video there. That's 95 minutes, about 20-25 minutes home, and we'll finish up with around 18k, so I'm more than happy with that. I still feel quite fresh, got lots of running left in me, so I should be able to hit my speed sessions Monday and Wednesday. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I will be doing more content as I go through this training block, so if you want to catch up, hit the subscribe button, feel free to drop me a message or comment if you've got any questions, and I'll see you all soon.